Moon Girl, and welcome to the Sunday Live. I usually use these Sunday Lives to go through Sun Moon Rising combinations and go through your requests with regards to Sun Moon Rising. I want to take this opportunity this weekend though to talk about a bit of a different subject, and that is Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in Taurus. And more than going into the individual impact on how it's impacting everyone, I can quickly whiz through how it's impacting each one of the signs based on where it is placed. But I think the more important part is to talk about Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, because it will impact the way we live. It will impact each one of us for the next 14 years, and it will have a major major world impact. So regardless of your individual horoscope impact, this conjunction will change things going forward for all of us. We get this type of conjunction every 14 years. It sets the tone for what the innovation, what the progress, what the future is going to look like. And this is what's happening now. We had the conjunction yesterday, and it's already in my mind. I thought initially, okay, this is a great time to just talk about it on a personal level, but it's such a bigger topic that's gonna change the world for all of us. So I wanted to talk about it on a macro level and then go into the individual parts as well. So please, anyone that's here, please give a thumbs up so more people can see this video before we get started. I have some notes about Uranus and Jupiter and what it means in Taurus and what is gonna bring over the next 14 years and what we individually need to do in order to get the most out of it, and in order to make sure that this progress that we're all going through is going to go well. So please, if you're here, thumbs up, please, 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 so more people can see this video. This conjunction actually happened exactly on my North Node, so I kind of feel partially responsible to talk about it, because of course it's going to impact me personally, but I feel that there's a message behind it that I need to share. So anyone, please thumbs up. And let's go into it. So what does Jupiter meeting Uranus in a conjunction at 21 degrees in Taurus means for all of us? Well, before going into what it means at this moment, maybe let's go a bit back in history and see what happened last time we had such a conjunction. So hi for everyone that's joining me. Please a thumbs up if you're here, say hello, and yeah, like the video so more people can see it. Yeah, what does it mean when Jupiter means Uranus? This is usually kind of the leap forward. This is the progress. This is where we actually make a leap into the future. This is where the seed for what our life in 14 years will be like, what's developing from this point on. And the last time we had a conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus was in 2010 and 2011. This was happening back then in Aries and Pisces. Nice to meet you as well. So first we had the conjunction in June of 2010 in Aries, and then we had one in Pisces on January 2011. So from my point of view, what happened back then was the engines turned on for innovation. It was like, okay, we're gonna step it through. This is where innovation accelerated to the max from my point of view. But at the same time, because we had a second one in Pisces, this is where Pisces came in and put the brakes on and said, okay, but we're gonna still take it slow with empathy. We're still gonna be human about it. So that's the latest Uranus-Jupiter transit that's ending now. So think of in your own life, what was happening around 2010, 2011, June, and then January. Send back your memory and see what happened then, and see where you are now, and if anything that you started back then has now progressed in your life and has reached its peak. So you set your seeds then for your individual life innovation. We all set the seeds for the society's development, and we are where we are. Technology has massively advanced because that Aries kick pushed on it. So we massively recovered from the financial crisis. We picked back up all the currencies, the cryptos of the world. We developed AI. We stepped on the gas, and that's what we did back then. This time, it is in Taurus. So Taurus is a very different planet than Aries is, different sign than Aries is. And that's why I want to kind of not warn you guys, but give you a feeling of where we need to head with this. Last time this conjunction happened in Taurus, oh, thank you so much. Last time this conjunction happened in Taurus, was in 1941. Maybe some of you know what was going on back then. Back then, it was the Second World War was developing. So we weren't going through the best of times. We were going through times that were pretty difficult back then as well. And what happened with Jupiter and Uranus getting together is that the alliance formed, and we kind of started going out of the World War. So 1941 is when the axis between Russia, UK, America formed, and it took a few years to still fight in that, but it turned out that we actually went out of it. We went out of it though not without damage. So we had loads of damage in the process. So because we needed to learn a lesson, there was still a lot for us to process. Another time where Uranus and Jupiter were together, and back then it was also that Pluto was in Aquarius like it is now, is when the French Revolution and the American Revolution happened in the 1700s. So at the end of the 1700s is when we had one of these conjunctions as well. And we know, again, it didn't go all smooth, but in the end, the world progressed because of it. Why I want to make this video and why I want to share this is because we don't need to learn the hard way. It's not always learning the hard way. It's about going through the transition, going through what we need to change, because we will need to change. We will need to come out of this, and we will need to be changed. And coming out of it without so much damage. So what is Jupiter? What is Uranus? Maybe I'll take you guys through it so you get an idea of what it is. So Uranus is innovation. So Uranus is actually anything that disrupts the status quo. And I'm going to go a bit into the mythological idea of where Uranus came from and what does it mean, so you guys get an idea. But Uranus gets celestial ideas, implements them here on Earth. So anything that Uranus brings is new to us. We have no idea what's coming. And because we're in the age of Aquarius already, we have entered, and this is Uranus. So the innovation is gonna come at us, and we are not even gonna know what that is. It's very hard to predict the unpredictable because it's coming at such a speed. The level of development is so fast that we just need to go with it and understand that it's here to help us. So it's not a doomsday type of thing. Oh, it's all bad. It's how do we work with this level of innovation? How do we work with this level of change? How do we progress with this level of change? Then Jupiter is the planet that magnifies everything. Jupiter is the teacher. Jupiter is the expansion. Jupiter also brings progress, but in a positive way. So when you have Jupiter and Uranus, this leaps you forward throws you 10,000 years forward. So it brings change, and Jupiter helps that change to expand and to actually take on a positive note. So in the end, we actually are looking to progress in a better direction than we are now. But until we get there, we might have some challenges. And this is what I want to talk about. And I want to explain why Uranus is actually one of the planets that we need to understand in order to know how to navigate this. So I'm just going to go a bit into the mythology of Uranus and where it comes from. So it means, it signifies rebellion, it signifies revolution, it signifies originality, creativity, sudden changes, independence and freedom, humanitarian and progress. And the best planet is Jupiter. Yeah, we're lucky on that. And it's technology and innovation. While Jupiter at the same time is there to amplify this, and also it's actually the planet of luck, of fortune, of philosophy, of higher learning. So it's here to take us forward. It's here to bring expansion and growth. And it's good in a way to have this, but we need to understand Uranus in order to navigate it best. So I actually looked a bit into the mythology of Uranus, and then it makes perfect sense. So let me just read you a bit about it, because once you kind of understand the Greek mythology, you understand what this planet is here to teach us. So in Greek mythology, Uranus was one of the primordial deities, so was a god, and he was representing the sky and the heavens. He was the son of Gaia, but also at the same time, he was the one that was creating titans on Earth. So he was parenting titans, and he was sending them back to Earth, which Gaia took as a type of offense, and she used Kronos, which Kronos is the god of time and is Saturn, in order to take Uranus out of the sky. So Uranus, in this case, was expelled from the sky, the type of Luciferian type of mythology here. So Uranus was expelled from the sky, and he was kind of set onto Earth, not killed, but made pieces onto Earth. And then in that case, what happened with Uranus was that his power was still on Earth. So his blood spilled onto Gaia, and where he fell, you had mythical beings and you had giants, and his creation ended up being on Earth. But he was punished because he was taking power from the heavens to bring it to Earth. This is very Aquarian nature. This is also very Luciferian nature. So taking godly power, bringing it onto Earth. So you need to understand that when you do these things, you are kind of the rule of the Earth that we live on now, with time and with the restrictions that we're under, which is very well symbolized by Taurus, is now very set in stone. So the type of progress that we're going to see is going to be out of this world. And when I say out of this world, what's most likely the best way to say it is humanity 2.0. So we are evolving as humans already for maybe 10, 20 years now. You're seeing we're being enhanced by technology. So we're not only benefiting from what comes from our body and our mind, we're benefiting from technology that is actually enhancing our lives. So this is the type of humanity 2.0 that we cannot put back in the box. So that's what Uranus is here to bring. If I was talking to one of the subscribers of the channels, an Aquarius, and I really liked the conversation, and he was like, I'm really worried about this. And I was saying the one thing we need to keep hold of is keeping our humanity here. And this conjunction in Taurus kind of is one of our last chances to wake up to humanity and to decide what parts of humanity we're going to take into this evolved level of who we are going to be. We're going to be supported by technology. This is clear. And technology is going to be, it's already a lot of part of our life, but we are going to be supported by it and we are going to be enhanced by it. What we need to understand is what parts of humanity have worked for us and what we need to take with us into the future in order to, in order to progress the right way. If we don't understand these things, then we might end up losing our humanity. And this is where the danger is here. So what do I mean exactly by humanity? Emotion. That subconscious level of emotion and human intelligence, which technology cannot reproduce on the outside yet. So we also, because we're talking about Taurus, we're talking about all the resources that the Earth has, all the resources that we have on Earth. We're talking about anything that has to do with our existence to date. So all that you know as your existence on Earth to date is represented, in my opinion, by Taurus. People say Taurus is ruled by Venus. I think in this case, I believe, I'm one of the believers also, that Taurus kind of is ruled by the Earth. Taurus is the sign that represents the Earth. So represents humanity as we are here now, with our senses, with our needs, with our possessions, with everything that we deal with on a daily basis. And if we want to preserve this, we need to take care of the things that have to do with Taurus. And this is the moment where we need to think of how we want to feed ourselves, how we want to take care of our food in the future. This is the moment where we need to think of how we want to live, what we want our environment to be, what we want the planet that we are in on to be, and how should it look like. We also need to think of all of our resources, natural resources, but also financial resources. So what will we need to continue? And I think what we need to really do in this case is wake up. So I see a bit of comments, and this is exactly what I'm referring to. So you might not be ready to wake up, but life will wake you up in a way or the other. So you need to just realize, okay, what makes me human? What can I work on within myself to keep my humanity going? How can I make the planet that I'm living on a better planet? How can I take care of my resources? How am I starting to care about what's around me, my environment, and not get lost only in the technology that we're watching every day, not get lost only in the world of ideas and talking online and debating subjects and all of this, like really living the real life and preserving what's there to be preserved on Earth. So our environment is one thing that's really important and we need to preserve it, but also beyond that, you need to know what you want to preserve from your humanity. So in this case, Taurus is here to give you the last chance to preserve what you want to preserve from humanity. And in that case, I think this progress is gonna take us, if we're to go back to Uranus and where I think we'll be in 14 years. It's very hard to say. One thing is that we'll be a lot more intertwined with whatever technology we're developing. So we'll be a lot more dependent on it. And understand me that through becoming so dependent on technology, you're giving up a lot of yourself. So you need to know what within your essence and what within your personality as a human being you want to preserve. Otherwise, delegating this power, the power will actually be taken on by artificial intelligence or technology or people that are in charge of this. And if we don't wake up at one moment to preserve what's been the reality until now, we'll probably get fully lost in that. So that's one thing that I wanted to give as a warning. Beyond that, there's a lot of positive things that will happen, and I think there's a lot going on with this. I think this is a conjunction that will bring wealth. I think this is a conjunction that will bring prosperity to a lot more people. I think this is a conjunction that will help get resources, help enrich the earth, and help enrich us. So even technology can help us here, and we can be supported by it. But I think what needs to be done is a bit more self-awareness, because we're delegating power. We're not getting smarter, we're getting a bit dumber, because we're delegating all our information and we're delegating all our brain power to these little devices and to the computers and to all of it. And we're not really developing our own self. So it's a mastery between knowing the fine line of how to develop outside of yourself and how to develop within yourself. Also, another thing about Taurus and that human level is you need to value your environment, like you need to value the planet Earth. And this is another way which we have disconnected from so much, and we need to value the resources that planet Earth is giving us. I think there's going to be progress in a good way also here, but I think unless we talk about it and unless everyone starts thinking about it a bit, we're not going to see major changes, and we're just going to get to a point where there's hardly no return. And all the comments on here about, oh, nobody cares, nobody makes sense, you will care at one point. And I think getting that message out, even if you're not ready to hear it now, you'll be ready at one point. Yeah, I think in 14 years when we'll have this, and I think the next one should be in Gemini, that will be a lot more on the idea level, on the technology level. Now we're still talking about our humankind and how do we develop as humans here and keep that alongside technology. I think there will be technology development that will be so accelerated, but we as humans on this earth need to evolve with it in order to not be lost to it. So that's the warning, and that's kind of the way I see Saturn and Jupiter coming about in the next 14 years. So 14 years is a lot, and Pluto is in Aquarius as well, and that will also impact it. I would say though that then on the individual level you will have a lot more benefits with Uranus and Jupiter. So yeah, each one of the signs will have progress in one of the houses, and usually on the individual level there's a lot more positive progress that's being noticed pretty fast. So if, let's say, you're an Aries, this will fall in your second house, so you'll see a lot of progress in your finances and money coming from your work and your inner value. If you're a Taurus, you'll see actually your whole life developing and changing, your whole personality, and maybe the trajectory of your life will change in this case. If you are a Gemini, this will fall into your 12th house, and you will start solving a lot of psychological trauma and a lot of psychological issues. If you are a Cancer, this will impact the segment that has to do with friendships and the social networks and groups of friends. So in that case, you would probably expand your network of friends and opportunities. If you are a Leo, then in that case, you will see a big impact in your career life. So it will make or break it. It will change the way your career has been developing until now, and you will probably have a huge leap or a huge change in there. If you are a Virgo, it will impact your values and your beliefs, so your belief system. Usually this comes also from a time of change. If you are a Libra, this will be in your 8th house. So in this case, it will it will impact your intimacy, and also probably even inheritance coming from family members. If you are a Scorpio, this will be in your 6th house, so you need to take care of your health. But I think you'll get a lot of changing in your routines and your daily life that will promote you forward. If you are a Sagittarius, you might feel this also. I want to specify that especially Sagittarius, Pisces, and Aquarius will feel it, because alongside Taurus, because these two planets rule this sign. So if you are a Sagittarius and you have this in your is it, I think this is your 6th sign, so in your house of health, so that's gonna be impacted here. But you might feel it in your, because your Jupiter ruling planet is associated with Uranus. In this case, you might feel it also through big changes coming in your life, through big changes coming for your sun sign as well. Then going into Capricorn, this is the 3rd sign from it. Yeah, it's the 5th sign. So in this case, you would feel it in your love life. So the big changes and the exciting times will happen in your love life. Children, projects that have to do a lot of creativity. It's a great placement for creativity, and also for Capricorns coming out of long time with Pluto on them. This might be a good time for them to go into, exploring their creative side. If you are an Aquarius, you will definitely feel it, because you're feeling Pluto also. And this will for sure impact the way you are receiving this, and it will bring expansion. I think Pluto there with Jupiter in Aquarius will bring loads of expansion, but also maybe in your 4th house, family related issues, that might be another area that you are impacted in. If you are a Pisces, it's going to be your 3rd house, so the house of communication. Things like this, talking to you guys on the internet, so that's gonna be amplified. Probably I'll be doing a lot more of it. And I think this is the summary for all the signs. The message is more about what we should look out for as a collective, and I know it's a bit of a harder message to digest, but I think on the individual level, there's still going to be a lot of progress and developments, but we need to think more collectively. I think in general, as the Aquarius age starts, we need to think collectively of how we can improve our existence on Earth together. So the first part of this video refers more to that. Okay, this was my Sunday live, an unusual one. Not so much going into the big three. I'm gonna come back next week with the big three and more light-hearted topics. For those that want to listen to this message, give it a go and listen to the whole video a couple of times and see what I'm talking about there, if it makes sense, if it doesn't make sense for you. And if it doesn't make sense, maybe listen to it even a few more times, because there is a message within there, and there is a message that I think we need to become more and more conscious of. And even if we're not ready to hear it, sometimes it's better to repeat it until people are ready to hear it. Till next time, I'm Aries Moon Girl. I care about the stars, but most of all I care about you, and this is why I do these videos. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye bye.